This book is called Wren's Shopping Day. Wren and Mum stood on the path to the supermarket doors. "Shopping day," said Mum. Wren stayed close and smiled. Inside the shop, Wren stayed close to Mum. The lights felt bright and calm. They walked on carefully. At the trolley bay, Mum found a small trolley. Wren took the bar carefully. "Gentle," said Mum. Wren nodded. Mum took out the list. "Fruit, bread, milk," she read. Wren pointed to each word. "I can help," she said. They left the list spot and came to the fruit aisle. Wren tiptoed carefully. She looked at the apples. "These ones," said Wren. Mum helped her choose 3 shiny apples. They put them in the trolley carefully. They rolled on toward the bread. Wren checked a shelf of biscuits. "Not bread yet," said Mum gently. Wren giggled. They paused by a quiet end of the aisle. Mum knelt so Wren could see her eyes. "No rush," said Mum. Wren breathed out. Around the corner, they found the bread shelf. Wren pointed. Mum lifted a fresh loaf and put it in the trolley. Next, they came to the cool milk shelves. Wren walked carefully. The air felt chilly on her cheeks. "Milk," said Wren, pointing. Mum lifted a small bottle. Wren watched it go into the trolley. "List almost done," said Mum. By a wide patch of floor. Wren stopped the trolley carefully. 1, 2, 3, she counted with Mum. "Apples, bread, milk." The list was done. They joined the quiet queue. Wren stood close to Mum. She kept still. "We can wait," whispered Wren. At the till, Mum paid, and Wren helped open the bag. They were gentle with each thing. The shopping went in piece by piece. They walked back through the doors into daylight. Wren took one bag. Mum took the other. They went out carefully. Along the car park path. Wren matched Mum's pace, slow and steady. The bags bumped gently between them. They sat on a low bench. The bags rested beside them. Wren leaned on Mum. Warm sun was on their shoulders. "Good shopping day," said Mum. Wren nodded and leaned close. That was enough for today. Hello, I'm Eleanor. Lily and I are going to read a story about a robin in the garden. Shall we begin? This story is called The Robin at the Window. At the kitchen window, Wren saw a robin on the fence. The bird feeder hung empty. The robin flew away. "I wonder what birds like to eat," said Mum. Wren thought. "Seeds," she said. Mum smiled. "Let's have a look." They found the seed jar in the cupboard. "Shall we fill the feeder?" said Mum. Wren nodded. Mum set out a small scoop and a bowl. Wren twisted the jar lid. Mum helped the last bit. Click. Wren scooped 1 cup of seeds, not too full. She tipped them into the bowl. Tap, tap on the side. Mum set the feeder on the table. Wren poured slowly. Seeds piled up in a small golden heap. A few seeds skittered on the table. "Oh dear," said Mum. They wiped them up with a cloth. Together they walked to the garden door. Wren held one side of the feeder. Mum held the other. Outside, Mum reached up to the branch hook. Wren passed the feeder chain. Click. It hung straight and still. Back inside, Wren washed her hands at the sink. Soap. Rinse. Dry. The feeder waited in the garden. They sat by the window with a drink of water. "Birds take their time," said Mum. Wren watched the garden. The robin sat on the fence again. It looked at the feeder. It did not fly over yet. That was all right. Then the robin hopped to the feeder. Peck. Peck. One small seed. Wren whispered, "Hello, Robin." Mum put her hand on Wren's shoulder. They did not tap the glass. The robin flew off. Seeds still waited in the feeder. "Tomorrow we can watch again," said Mum. "A good morning." That's the end of our story for today. Sleep well, little ones. This book is called Wren's Beach Morning. Wren and Mum stood on the sand path. The sea was ahead. "Beach morning," said Mum. "And ice cream after," she added. Wren smiled. They left the path and came to the sea edge. Water touched the sand in little lines. Mum pointed ahead. "Here we are," said Mum. Wren peeked at the water. "Beach morning," she said. They kept along the tide line. Gulls stood on the wet sand. Wren grinned. "Can I play?" she asked. "Yes," said Mum. "Hop near them." Wren hopped on the wet sand. The gulls hopped too. Wren hopped again and laughed. A gull hopped closer. Mum stayed near. "Gull," said Wren. The gulls flapped a little way along the shore. Wren waved. "Bye, gulls," she said. Mum smiled. Further on they came to a low rock. A little crab sat there. "We can watch," said Mum. "Then we leave him free." Wren nodded. They left the rock and kept along the shore toward the promenade. Wren pointed at a little hut ahead. "Ice cream?" she asked. "Yes." They left the open shore and came up to the ice cream hut. The shutter was down. "Not open yet," said Mum. They sat on the bench beside the hut. Wren watched the shutter. Mum sat with her. Mrs. Brooke opened the shutter. She smiled in the window. "Hello," she said. Wren waved once. "What flavour?" asked Mrs. Brooke. Wren pointed. "That one," she said. Mum paid and thanked her. Mrs. Brooke handed Wren a small cone. Wren held it with both hands. Mum held her own. "Thank you," said Wren. They stepped away from the hut. "We hopped with the gulls," said Mum. Wren licked her ice cream and nodded. They came to the promenade rail. Wren watched the water below. Mum stood beside her. A drip ran down Wren's cone. She licked it and laughed. Mum laughed too. "We'll come back," said Mum. Wren smiled at the sea. "Yes," she said, "we'll come back." This book is called Wren at the Playground. The rain had stopped. Soft sun caught the puddles on the path. Wren pulled on her cream trainers, one foot and then the other. "Playground today," she said quietly. Mum packed a small water bottle into her bag. Hand in hand they walked past the garden gate and down the cream path. "What do you think we'll find?" said Mum. Wren smiled and kept walking. Through the green wooden gate they went. The playground opened ahead. Wren saw the swing frame and pointed. "Swing first," she said. Mum nodded and followed. Mum gave a gentle push. Up and back. Up and back. Wren laughed softly, not too high, not too fast. Next came the slide. Wren climbed the steps slowly. Mum waited at the bottom with open hands. Down she came carefully. In the sandbox, Wren scooped and poured. Sand ran through her fingers like warm gold. She patted a small sandy hill flat with her wooden spade. The sand felt smooth and dry. They sat together on the wooden bench under the tree. Wren drank some water from the bottle. Mum wiped the sand from her small hands with a soft cloth. "What was good so far?" said Mum. Wren thought for a moment. Wren tried the bumpy spring rocker. She held on tight with both hands. Mum stood close beside her. "Rock, rock gently." By the low fence, daisies grew in the grass. Wren bent down and picked one small flower. She gave it to Mum. Mum tucked it gently in her hair and smiled. They strolled between the swings and the sand, unhurried. The path was warm under their trainers. "What shall we try next?" said Mum. "The log," said Wren. Wren walked along the low balance log, holding Mum's hand. Step by step along the wood. She did not rush. She looked where she placed her feet. Mum looked up at the soft sky. The morning had been full and gentle. "One more go," she said, "then home for lunch." Wren nodded. That felt fair. One last turn on the swing. Not too high. Up and back. Up and back. That felt just right. Hand in hand they walked home along the cream path. The playground grew small behind them. Wren said the sandbox was best. Mum smiled and squeezed her hand. Shoes off at the door. Trainers side by side on the mat. Wren washed her hands at the kitchen sink. Lunch was waiting on the table, simple and warm. A good morning, she thought. A good morning. That's the end of our story for today. What was your favourite part of the playground? We hope you had a calm morning with us. Perhaps you will visit a playground soon. Until next time, little ones. Thank you for reading with us.